Hey everybody, this is Darwin Reina. I'm the Festival Director Hospitalejo of the International Film Festival. Today we have a great writer. He happens to be that he's a friend of mine through writing and some collaboration, but he's part of a festival. He's a great writer from the UK. Today, Lee Bales is going to tell us all about his process for writing and gas. That's the script we have selected for a festival. How are you, Lee?
Yeah, I'm good. And hello. And
Yes.
Thanks very much for selecting the film for the festival.
It's good to have you, Lee. So let's start with, like I always say, my interviews are very natural. I really don't prepare them, so I go with the flow, what I feel. First of all, where do you get the idea from and why you were so driven to wrote gas?
Yeah. So yeah, gas is kind of a very old project, really. It's about, I don't know, 12 or 15 years old. And originally it came about because a friend of mine who did some special effects for a short film, he was very dyslexic and he needed someone to write a script for him. And he had this idea that he wanted to do. And the idea was to adapt a very famous poem called Dulce Et Decorum Est by Wilfred Owen. And it's inspired by this very famous painting called Gas by John Sargent.
Wow.
Both pieces of work were incredibly important when I was a child and at school and we were taught about the First World War. And he was inspired to adapt them into a stop motion film. And the idea was we were going to do an anti-war film and do it, but as a tribute to the fallen victims, and do it as each one a different war in a different land, in a different place, and a different poem, to do that kind of thing. So that was the idea.
So, Lee, tell us a little bit your process for writing, for overcome the blank page.
Yeah.
How do you develop gas, for example? Tell us.
Yeah. For that one, it was very different because there was some very short, like bullet points of ideas of things that he wanted to see, that like images he had in his mind that he wanted to do. But then what I had to do is kind of decide, okay, so what's the real story here? Because the poem has a very contained story. It doesn't have enough to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And so because your story comes from character and your story comes from conflict between that character and either the environment or something else. So I had to work out what the story was. And the idea was basically coming up with this character who loses his mask and he's caught in a mustard gas attack. And the other people who are around there trying to help him. And a later adaptation was actually working out, well, why did he lose his mask? So you've got to keep asking questions. Mm-hmm. And just to come out with what's in your mind at first isn't good enough.
Lee, tell us a little bit, as a writer, do you have a routine in the daily basis of writing? And where do you get all those ideas of your scripts? You just thinking something, or you just hear something, or you get how it works? So it's very sporadic.
Actually, what really helps, is respecting your limits, right? So don't do too much because you will burn out. So although you can do enough that you're happy you've achieved something and don't burn out, and then you will keep getting more ideas. The more you write, the easier the words become, and the easier the ideas come.
You're saying now, this is interesting. You're saying that, because for me, you are a very good writer. There's no doubt about myself about that towards you.
Thank you.
So you think you are still in a learning process still of?
Always. It's you're learning. I've realized I have a problem with story. So I devoted 9 months this year to reading every book I can about story, to going on courses and forcing myself to do different things. And there are other aspects of writing that people underestimate, like pitching. how to get someone interested in your idea. So that's my next thing on the list. And so the idea is, yeah, you always should be learning.
Wow. So before I let you go, Lee, how many drafts do you do for gas before you take him 10 years, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the one I picked up recently, it was literally the first draft. I just did it, sent it out in an hour.
Wow.
And that's what I mean. The difference in when I used to write back then. But I think originally I did about 4 drafts before I first sent it out.
Pretty good, pretty nice. Lee, are you have to come to Spain now? We're waiting for you. I hope COVID will be okay for all of us, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially to see old friends who are also going to be there, but also meet some new ones. But especially, I've really enjoyed some of the festivals recently, even the ones that are just online, seeing all these films, and seeing so many different approaches to telling stories. It's really good. Yeah. And it's a good learning thing, isn't it?
So yeah, you know better. Well, Lee, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. We're looking forward to see you in Barcelona Hospitalet for sure. And keep writing, Lee.
I will. And thanks very much for inviting me for the festival, and can't wait to see everyone. Thanks.
All right, it's an honor. Bye, Lee.
Bye.
Take care.